Morning people, welcome back to F Politics. I watch Question Time so that you don't have to, and while most of this week's episode was a xenophobic hate fest where pretty much everybody on the panel talked as if immigration was the source of all evil, Zia Yusuf was extremely amusing. But you'd kind of expect him to be amusing given that last week Zia Yusuf was the chair of the Reform Party who then tweeted that getting a reform government wasn't a good use of his time, and now he's on TV trying to get a reform government. For starters, we have the easiest fact check of all time.
So firstly, the notion that Nigel Farage is on the record as saying that we'd scrap the NHS, simply not true.
And I think we're going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. Frankly, I would feel more comfortable that my money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company than just us trustingly giving 100 billion a year to central government.
Like, Nigel Farage was explicitly saying that he wants healthcare in the UK to be provided through the marketplace of an insurance system. Marketplace meaning private. You get what you pay for. So if you can't afford healthcare, you don't get healthcare. And as recently as a couple of months ago, he explicitly said he didn't want the NHS to be funded through taxation.
Just to be clear, do you want it still funded through general taxation, or you think you need to look at the funding model?
I do not want it funded through general taxation.
Right.
So the idea of NHS healthcare provision being something we all benefit from equally, just by being UK citizens, that's something he's fundamentally against. But there was one thing that Zia Yusuf said that made me like,
what did he say?
You know, in terms of the Tories, I mean, somebody who sat alongside Liz Truss and inflicted that damage on this country saying we're economic fantasists is the ultimate of the pot, calling the kettle black.
So that's Zia Yusuf explicitly saying that anybody who supported Liz Truss's mini budget, which crashed the pound to the lowest level for 37 years, is an economic fantasist. Oh, what's that? Is that Nigel Farage supporting Liz Truss's mini budget? It certainly looks that way, because he did. He called it the best conservative budget for decades. Zia Yusuf is having an outstanding week. He started it by saying that getting a Reform Party government wasn't a good use of his time, and now he's just called his boss an economic fantasist. Oh my god, you should get a raise. And then there's whatever the hell this car crash was, because he doesn't really answer the question. He just keeps repeating, but we're the party of working people, but we're the party of working people, which is basically your usual right-wing populist shtick.
When it comes to welfare, for example, when it comes to the NHS, for example, would you be making cuts there?
If you take something like welfare, and again, hearing a Tory talk about this, they took state spending as a percentage of GDP.
This question is about reform, Zia. Would you cut the welfare? Well, you haven't yet. Would you cut the welfare budget?
Look, we are on the side of working people and people who set their alarm clocks in the morning. It is way too easy in this day and age in the United Kingdom to get onto long-term welfare. And by the way, almost impossible to come off it.
Would you cut the welfare budget?
We are on the side of working people. So you can expect
I'm not sure what the answer to that is then.
Per capita, under a reform government, Fiona, per capita, you will see welfare spending reduced significantly. How? What happened during COVID, and you can go and look this up online, is the United Kingdom got addicted to welfare at a catastrophic cost.
There would be cuts. Fewer people would get welfare if
per capita welfare spending. We are on the side. We're unapologetic
is that
about
a yes?
this. We are on the side of people who set their alarm clocks in the morning. Per capita welfare spending will come down under reform.
Okay, so you do plan to cut benefits, but you're going to be on the side of working people. People who get up and set their alarm and all that, right? So people who can't work would lose money under a reform government, and people who do work, what has Nigel Farage said about them? Well, a couple of years ago, while the people of the UK were experiencing the sharpest fall in living standards ever recorded, and people went on strike to demand better pay, Nigel Farage accused them of being part of a left-wing conspiracy. His party all voted against Labour's Employment Rights Bill, which means the Reform Party is against working people having rights, against them asking for better pay, and wants to take money away from people who aren't able to work. Which means if you are working class, whether in work or out of work, the Reform Party will screw you. And because at several points during this show, Zia Yusuf complained about the state of the economy, one of the audience members said this to him.
Sorry for the reform. Do I smell a bit of BS? Because you are trying to tell us to trust you and to trust the reform or the Farage show. It's the guy who advocated for Brexit. Let's not forget that. Why the state of the economy is in the mess that we are now, it comes down to one thing, Brexit. We lost 5% of GDP. around about 150 billion.
Now, obviously, Brexit isn't the only reason our economy is doing poorly, and it's important that we remember that, because otherwise they'll say, oh, but this is affecting the economy, therefore it can't be Brexit. So be careful about that. But he's making a great point. For the Reform Party to complain about the state of the economy when their Brexit has severely damaged the economy, that hypocrisy is off the scale. Zia Yusuf is having an outstanding week. I'm Femi. Make sure you follow F Politics so politics doesn't F you. Have a great week.